To welcome you to the Rohaan Channeling House. We're here again together, changing platforms again this time. It's got to be, a couple of minutes for Rohaan since yesterday? We couldn't get enough of him, Mr. Irresistible. I think that was him who sent me that. So, people, another free transmission from our friend Rohaan, keeping us on our toes, magically pulling great information out of his sleeves. Who is he anyway? He's a Sasani first contact specialist, here to guide us, kicking and screaming, gently guiding us on an accelerated path towards more physical contact. If you're here with us live or listening to the replay, and wherever you are, in whatever reality, myself, Louise Benefield, and my very great friend, the channel, Linus Cordis, are very excited to welcome you here into this bubble reality. If you are joining us here for the first time and you're not a member of the Rohaan Channeling Facebook group or YouTube, come and check them out. There's a couple of full-length sessions on there and the previous sessions here on Clubhouse. I put some links in the chat that will take you directly there. And there is a post in Rohaan Channeling on Facebook with all the links to the transmissions. Linus, the man of many talents, that's your new name now, film and music, also has his Patreon groups. This is a platform that allows for a more private and in-depth experience within a group, which is for those who are wanting a more accelerated path. We have a great group at the moment and are now taking bookings for additional people to join in, if that excites you. It's our intention with these sharings to be of service and to be served. We're all teachers, we're all students, masters remembering how to create as masters within the experience of our physical and non-physical realities. So, hi Linus, how are you since last night?
Hi, well, it's been a long day today. I've been dealing with some camera stuff and yeah.
Technical things.
Yeah, well, it got quite expensive, so, dealing with that the whole day.
Well, you can always ask Rohaan, can't you, for some tips?
Yeah. So, but now the camera is okay. Well, it was another problem, so but now it
All
works.
right, cool.
That's good.
Great. And I put Linus's PayPal at the top of the house, of the room, just if anyone feels inspired to make a donation to show their appreciation. And we're only this time, aren't we? Like on time. We'll allow Linus to get into that state to bring forth Rohaan in this sharing of the Clock Master. My unconditional love to you all and have a great time.
All right, have fun, everyone. See you later.
And if anyone has questions, there's a button that you can put your hand up and I shall get you into the room so you can ask a question to Rohaan.
All right, hello to you all. How are you doing today?
Hello, hello. Hatu.
How to?
Perfect, because knowing that we're always a perfect, vibration of our reflection of our vibration.
Yes.
Sharing with everyone here and everyone there a blessing, blessing ourselves, appreciating ourselves and everything and everyone around us as it's only us. Inviting into our realities, into the physical manifestations created within our consciousness, more of who we are as our core self, allowing the symbiotic relationship between us all to expand, allowing for unconditional love to flourish, from our hearts to your hearts, and all beings connected to us. We radiate our unconditional love, knowing that through these connections, we're strengthening, we're melding and solidifying the bridge to more of ourselves and all of you. We honor and celebrate all our connections and invite you all into our hearts. Ha'atu.
How to? Thank you for the blessing as always, and for tuning in to this interaction. Wherever you are, allow yourself to tune into this vibration, knowingness of yourself, who you are. And in this transmission that we have entitled The Clock Master, this is something that we will bring more up in your future as well about this particular being. And it has to do with a being that is working with clocks, time. And this will allow this being to be able to tune into different parallel realities. And one moment. One moment. All right. So this being, one moment. So this being is tuned to a specific reality for people that are willing and want to explore more of themselves. And when it comes to healing and interacting with other realities, so this clock master will assist in that to tune your inner clock to those specific realities where you can interact with this particular being. This being is also a shapeshifter, but very often is in the form as a human being in the area location known as Prague, in the alchemy lab. This being has his office there and working during the night times there with other beings that are coming into this alchemy lab Because it is during the night there that is also a clock within the alchemy lab is activated. And this will allow for more overlapping from other realities to occur. One moment. One moment. We are facilitating the energies at this moment to ground the energy into the channeler. One moment. One moment. One moment. One moment. So, what you can do with this connection is to, if you are willing to interact with this particular clock master, you can be able to do so in inviting this being into your particular space where you are. And this can help you then to shift to other particular realities that you are willing to explore in yourself, helping to do with extraterrestrial contact. It doesn't matter that you're not maybe living in the location in Prague. You can connect with it wherever you are on your planet or wherever you are in cosmos. It doesn't really matter. But this can help to streamline more, facilitate yourself and be more focused into those realities. And even if you are willing to explore yourself to other para-realities of Earth, other humans from a different time, para-realities. So it can be both with ETs and future humans that can be experienced in that contact. And also, if you allow yourself to have a old clock, even a watch can help on. But look for more to an old clock, a vintage clock, and you meditate next to it. Even if you can hear how it making the sounds, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, and invite this clock master to enter to your space that you are willing to open up this. And then this clock master can come into your space, and then you're able to have interactions, and he can see where you're at in your own evolution, narrow path, and what you need to further continue your path. If it is some healing that you are required, it will very often also be given to you. So we will bring more information about this in another time. Now you can explore this if you are excited about to invite this clock master into your reality. And then by that we will see as well if you are willing to do so, then we know also how more we can share about that. So have some fun with this if it excites you. And if you do not, that's all fine too. Nothing that you have to do or forced to do. It's all about what you are excited about. So we thank you for this sharing. If you have your questions, you can now begin with that.
Lovely, thank you, Rohaan. We have the Prague princess here. Would you like to unmute yourself, Zalata, please, and ask your questions?
Hi, Rohaan.
Hello to you. How are you doing?
I'm fine. And thank you, Louise, for calling me Prague Princess. That's awesome. I love that because we already visited the Alchemy Lab, right? So yes. I'm really excited about this topic. So I wanted to ask, first of all, if this clockmaster is somehow connected to Sakul.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, got it. And
also, the clockmaster is also making sure that the many clocks in Prague is in harmony in a synchronized manner.
yeah, I noticed. And not only in Prague, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And
the astronomical clock, of course.
yeah. So I can even use this meditation maybe thinking about the astronomical clock?
Yes, because there are certain elements in the astronomical clock that that can be facilitated, and that he's using that to, well, be able to connect to other clocks and also into other clockworks too in the universe that connects to overall Prague's and the churches in Prague.
And can you maybe help me understand how the Alchemy Lab is connected to it?
Yes, under, well, the ground, you have another clock there that is created for a portal. So it's a clock, and when you activate the clock, it will create a certain vibrational field of a certain electromagnetic energy that is being amplified into a certain frequency range that enables another portal to open. Therefore, the other people can enter that portal from their place in time.
Okay, thank you. And
Does it make sense to you?
Yeah, it does.
All right.
When I connect and make the meditation and ask for the switch to the parallel reality, I assuming this will be happening like astrally?
Yes, first it can happen both ways, but it's more, well, sensitive if you do it in astral at this particular time. And after that, what you can do if you learn how to, well, bring that vibration, that experience from the astral to the physical reality, you can do those things, but you will do it in a more altered reality.
And with the healing, like how should I expect what will be the result when, for example, I ask for some healing?
Well, it can come up in many ways. First of all, is to, well, we can bring it to you like this. When you connect to the overall frequency in this, you are able then to discover different kinds of options of energies, which is, put in this way, different alchemist of vibration. And if you have certain kinds of, well, health issue, not yourself or people that you are maybe want to heal, you can see, well, I can combine this. So you're able to understand more when you're there that you're becoming your only healing expert in that. And then you're combining those ingredients there, and then it will come out through you as an energy substance, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And would you say that the potions that they sell in there are helping?
Yes, and they also have been amplified, a little bit altered from other, well, realities, so to speak, to give certain, well, extract within that to help with healing. So yes, if you really want to heal yourself and others, that will be the way to go in a more also physical way, because it connects to certain levels in your DNA that they will other substances may not be able to do. But this helps to connect to those layers in your body and also connect to the spiritual you at the same time, which create a harmonic synchronization balance.
Okay, thank you. And my last question, was I there, like, connected in any of my parallel lives in there or past lives? Was I working in the alchemy lab?
Yes, you were working both in a past and also in a parallel life. It's sort of like one of your main station there to provide certain, well, elements. And even to this day too, you are there in that version of yourself too, but you may not remember that all the time because you're not having the focus there. You can help using the clock master to help it to tune the focus back to the lab like that, and you'll be able to tune to that focus and able to have that experience as you have in the past and into that parallel reality.
Okay, wow, exciting.
It is, isn't it?
So thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
Thanks, Alata. I imagine the clock master is also coming through at the same time.
Well, he's lurking around, we can say.
Very
Not coming through in
interesting.
this way, but he's aware of this transmission. Yes.
Very interesting vibration. Lovely. Thanks, Alata. Up next, we have Janet. Would you like to unmute yourself, please, Janet?
Hi. Either I'm confused or I need time to, because I think half of my question got answered, so I'm not sure if I should go after someone
Maybe you want
else.
to use all the health then.
Okay. I
You
think I got
in health. All right, that's exciting, isn't it?
no. I need to come as
Let's
a
make you
whole.
whole.
Yes. I think I got distracted during the monologue. So.
All right. Well, it's understandable.
Okay, thank you. What it reminded me of was a permission slip that I had heard from Bashar, where you can, let's say you have an experience from your past that you want to tell a different story about. You can, there was a permission slip to retell the story so that you can have a different outcome. And that's what this is reminding me of. Is that related to this?
Yes, it works that way. It also can be used in every way you will like to use the timelines of this. And that when it comes to the clock master itself, that it will also, when you're using this meditation to connect with him, it it can actually help yourself to, well, retell your story and redefine your life, the timeline that you're in, if you will like to reshape the blueprint, so to speak, in the physical reality. It can be used in many different ways because it's all about understanding in yourself too that you have your own inner clock too, and time is an illusion. But when it comes to this, it will be able to be, well, reutilized in a sense that will create more the life that you prefer.
Okay, so I have an old family clock that doesn't work, and so, but I do have one that ticks really loudly. So I was just going to set them next to each other, and
or even you can do this. You can use the clock do not work if you're more in line with that, and you can just play some sounds on your computers, for example, to, well, imitate that. So you could be in the vibration that state of being. You don't really have to use the ticking sound if you don't really can do that. But of course, it helps with the effect and helps with the overall vibration.
Okay, so I was going to take that clock, meditate on the clock master, and let's say there's like a parallel reality from my past that I want to have different. What I was thinking of doing is telling in my mind, getting into a meditative state, telling my story, reminding myself of what I perceive to have happened, but then tell the story again with a different ending that I prefer.
Yes. So that's why it will be easier. First of all, you have to make value a bit more fragile in order to tell the story again, to reshape that. So that's where we have to go back. And using this, the clock master vibration will help you to make it more like lucid and not so dense. And when it's not so dense, then it can be more utilized in the way of retelling your story. Because I think, remember that you create a new story all the time, but you make the story, well, identical to the story that you always experience, because you believe that to be the story, the truth for you, but you can always retelling the story, and that will be your effect. So that's why using the spells in the way you are spelling yourself in your reality, it's also part of making those notes out there. So, for example, when you're spelling something out of you in the vocabulary, and it will bounce back to you, and then you will feel the energy of there. So it kind of work. You're putting out, it comes back to you, and then you put out the energy what you are sensing from the mirror, the physical reality. So it creates then this effect that creates your reality.
And that's awesome. And so then the same can be done for the future as well, like, or what we perceive to be the future.
Yes, exactly. And well, in the future, it can be like, for some people, maybe a little more tricky, because you can not really perceive that, relate to that, as you can relate to your past more. But you have to understand that it's just an illusion anyway of the memory from your past that's being created in the present moment. So if you don't, well, create a difference from the past and the future, you make them equal, then it will be easier to also reshape your future. Because your future is being created from the present anyway. And when you're tapping into what you think your future to be, you're tapping into the energy in the moment, where then will translate as your future. So if you know that if you create that in this particular moment right now, you're creating the future, and it's not really everything in stone. So you can, by changing the now frequency, you're changing also the future, how it will unfold for you. So understanding the mechanism about this, and the clock vibration to with the clock master will help you to be more aware of those realities.
Gotcha. And
Does
I
it
can
make
do,
sense in your language?
yeah, it super does. And I can do this for like a larger picture, not just me. I could do it on like a global sense
Yeah,
too.
you
Right?
can start with yourself first, and then you can expand beyond that. Because when you understand, when it comes to the first of this, is that when you see yourself in the global way, that's just that you're using then more of the space. For example, here it comes space and time involved here, is that you know it's easier to change a small amount of space than it is to change a bigger amount of space. But they use an illusion. And in that space, you're then creating your physical reality in sense of other version of yourself that you see, other people, and all of that in your reality. That's the space. But if you know that it's just an illusion and it's still being created from the smaller space, but create them the spatial effects, so to speak. So you have to understand, first of all, how it's being created. If you understand how it's being created, then it's easier for you to, well, fundamentally approach that and redefining, retelling the story globally as well. Or you will then shift to that story more, if you want to put it by changing the story, you shift into an already existing story, but you learn then how to make that shift to that reality, that time.
This is very exciting.
It is.
Thank you. Thank you. Ha'atu.
You are so welcome, Hatu.
Thanks, Janet. Up next, we have Chinsia. Would you like to unmute yourself, please?
Hello? Did I succeed?
Hello.
Yes. Okay. Hello, Rohaan. Nice to talk to you again.
You as well.
I've been wanting to ask you this question for almost a year now, and now it's the time, I feel like. So since now you're saying that something happening in Prague now, and there's something going on in Bosnia, in the pyramids, and I'm kind of between the two countries, like I live in Hungary, in a teeny tiny country. And I've been wondering if there's anything going on ET related in our country, anywhere?
Yes, all around, and there is actually happening there. And well, it is certainly places there where, well, in the main capital that has certain, well, ET vibration to it. Mostly it is, of course, well, behind the scenes at this moment, but it will unfold as more of this is being known globally on your planet. So yes, it will be also more realized in the future.
Do I have to do anything with this, or it's not really important for me to deal with this in my country, or it's just, can I be international about it, or you know what I mean?
You can be international about that as well. It depends exactly what you feel drawn to in yourself, what you are compatible to do. But just that you have willingness to be yourself, then you do everything within that vibration anyway that is a service for contact.
So I don't have to like, okay, I want to have first contact in this country. So I don't have to do that. I just follow my excitement and I'm going to have first contact wherever.
Yes, follow your excitement, and then it will synchronistically guide you to where you need to be at the moment where first contact happens. Yes.
Okay. I was just wondering, if there's any reason I was born into this country, especially since you told me that I have this ET theme that I didn't know about. So I was like,
yes.
Does it have to do anything with this country especially?
Having to do also when you choose this an incarnation, it depends also how best you can serve yourself and your planet. So therefore, by choosing an incarnation in certain countries, in your now country, it's because you are compatible with the frequency there and helping you to express yourself in many different ways that you may not really know yet, but ways that also will be discovered in your future. But it's all about finding where you feel comfortable in, where you're compatible within, so you can express yourself as fully as you can. And in the future, things will start to unfold globally as well, and including in your country too, yes.
Mm-hmm. But it still stands that I'm going to go to the Skinwalker Range for first contact as well, because you told me that before.
Yes, well, we see sensing a very high probability for you to go there and experiencing, well, one thing or the other. We can't tell you exactly what it is. It has to be, well, unfold to you synchronistically.
Okay.
It depends what you are hungry for as you live in Hungary.
Yeah, that's a joke I never heard before. Okay, we hear it all the time. Well, all right. Thank you so much for your help.
You're so welcome.
I'll be just following my excitement as I always do.
Thank
you. Bye.
Thanks, Chinzia. It was still funny, though, the joke. I was laughing. Up next, we have Violet. Would you like to unmute yourself, please, Violet?
Hello, Rohaan.
And hello to you.
I'm really excited to be connecting with the Clock Master.
Yes.
And I'm wanting to know a little more about how you're helping me at this time in Prague.
Can you repeat your question, please?
Yes, a little bit more about how you are helping me, or how I can use your help in this exact time that I'm in here, with this next week that I'm here in Prague.
Yes, first of all, now when you know this and more of the representation of the Clockmaster vibration and his spot. So what you can do is to visit the alchemy lab again and just be around in the way you can be. And even if you can be there to do a meditation, if you're allowed to do that for some reason, and just be around there. What you can do to bring some watch with you that you can have on your wrist, and just focus that you're making an imprint in that particular watch of the Clockmaster vibration. So then wherever you go, you will have made that specifically in the watch around your wrist. And they can also let the time start to, unfold telepathically to you, so you can start to, receive information, not only in the sense of, information the way you know, but it can be emotions, the kind of feelings. intuitions. It could be many ways how this telepathic connection can unfold for you there. So be open to it and allow yourself to tune into it as clear as you can and as pure as you can with yourself, and allow yourself to be pure in a state of being, knowing that you're open with your heart and you're willing to connect with this particular being. And then you will tune into this frequency, and then as a time you might be able to see, well, the clock, and as you know, when you hear even the tick tock in your head, then you know, well, he is around.
Excellent. Okay, that's really helpful. Wonderful. And something interesting, I wondered if there's a connection. I ended up in the cafe across from the astronomical clock, and it's connected to a hotel, and the owner is and has been collecting beautiful antique clocks and filling the rooms with it. Is there a connection with that place?
Yes, and in fact, some of these clocks also have certain kinds of technology. It will be a technology that is, well, unknown for your scientists at this time. Not directly nanotechnology. It's a different substance of technology that helps to synchronize into a specific reality.
So it would be helpful for me to go there, probably.
Yes, and see where you feel drawn to, what the clock you feel drawn to. Because the clocks in that way also have their own chakras.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
All right, I will do that. Excellent.
Right.
Wonderful. And I was wondering if you mentioned healing. I'm imagining physical healing, but I would assume that there's also some aspect of helping a person with some belief or emotional healing as they're in that process of experiencing more timelines.
Yes, so this can also be a way to, well, assist in that if you feel drawn to do that, to provide this assist when it comes to negative belief systems, to help the individual to let go so they can create more from their state of being, what is really the true belief system.
Yes.
And don't have to create, because negative belief system will also create different kinds, well, it can create pain and issues because it actually is something that is not aligned with who you are. It creates resistance, so therefore it will then be wise to have your true core belief system, so you're not creating resistance, and you can provide the vibration for that person then to seek into the true core vibration of the belief system. So then what is not that in alignment will come up to the surface. So, well, for example, if that person then have negative belief system, it will automatically wash over that and bring it up, and that vibration will specifically help to, well, help the individual to know, to realize something, and things do not make sense. So in that sense, it will guide at the same time and helping, not directly just transform like that without the person even knowing that. It will be a process for the person to know also why and how it has been created, those belief systems in him or herself.
Yes, wonderful. And I'm assuming also the elixirs at the lab would also be beneficial in that sense too.
Yes, exactly.
Excellent.
Utilize that as well.
Okay. And can you share a little bit about, maybe a little bit about your time in Prague, a little bit about your history there?
My specific history?
Yes.
Well, I will tell you like this. That, yes, I do have a history there, yes, in, well, many ways. And this is something that we will have to tell in a different time.
Okay.
But yes, I tell you that I have that. That's, well, what I'm telling. So.
Okay. All right. Great.
To be continued.
Okay. Sounds good. Just thinking, is there anything else that you'd like to share with us?
Well, you just be yourself. And remember that too, that be the clock as well. Your true clock, because you're in a clock. So your clock will not stop. So your clock can be internal and infinite in sense how it is ticking forward.
Yes. Yes, that makes sense.
Tick-tock.
Yes. The process of existence.
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay, well, thank you so much. And thank you for...
Well, thank you, Aveo.
Yes, Avea.
Thanks, Violet. Anita has just written in the chat. She's sharing that she says that she just connected with the clock master and asked for healing. She said she immediately received beautiful, loving energy come upon me as tears started to flow. I was tapped on the left shoulder and I can feel work being done on my body. Thank you so much for this permission slip.
Yes, we perceive that a lot of things has now been happening in the moment. So, well, we were happy to hear that. And so are also the beings involved within that to see what the clockmaster is doing. Yeah.
While I'm here on the chat, I shall read Ivan's message question. He says, what does the clock master look like in physical reality? Just so he can have an idea for ease of visualization in his meditations, and
Yes.
also as a curiosity of how alien they look or don't look. Thanks, Ivan.
Yes. All right. Well, first of all, when it is in that form, in a more human form, it will look exactly like a typical human. Usually a elder man is typical. And it will have a particular hat. A magician hat could be, and it might also be a different hat as well, but usually a magician hat. It also will have a longer coat, usually gray coat, dark gray. And the pants will also be dark gray. The shoes will be black. Sometimes it can change, but the coat remains. And then it can also shift into also be, well, into different, like an animal as well in the forest. If you're in the forest and you see a typical, what there will be is a deer. And then you see a fox after you first saw a deer. Then that means that the clockmaster is involved there. And it can also then be a more alien type of being. Then it will look, well, it can look, depends exactly where you're at, but it can actually be looking similar to a worm. If it is in those realities, but usually when interacting with you, usually in a human form or between then deer, in that sense, in that fox.
Interesting. Thank you. Up next we have James. Would you like to unmute yourself, please, James?
Thank you. Hi, Rohaan. Hi, everyone.
Hello to you. How are you doing?
I'm really well, thank you. So I got a couple of questions about, I suppose they're kind of related to time, really. The first one is, obviously, we as humans experience or create it in a certain way for the moment-to-moment experience. Can you give us an example of how different time could be manifested or used by different kinds of beings, perhaps that we can't even imagine, but the kind, I just like to get an idea of how it could very differently manifest and be used by consciousness.
Yes, well, it can be very different in the sense that you can interpret that. As that's why when it comes to, well, time itself, it's freedom of a choice, because time is an illusion. So it's up to the consciousness to, well, how to, well, organize that, how to, well, create the time that that particular consciousness prefer. So in your particular reality, you have the time that you know in typical space-time framework, in a way. And then when you see a change, you know when something happened, that's the time concept as well. And when it comes to the movements and so on, typical what you know as moving forward, that your past, present, and the future is what you typical can relate to as time. But if you go up more the ladder into a different way of consciousness to perceive time, they can perceive more of realities, the timelines as overlapping at one. So then they will have not only linear way of time, but they will create then double linear and triple linear and so on, and they can still perceive them same way as you here are perceiving a one linear time. And it will happen that. So then it becomes even the faster amount of rate how time flows. And they even can stop time and continue time. So for example, when you are in non-physical reality, in more a spirit form, time there is very different from you. And you can even realize that when you're dreaming, that you don't really think about time in the dreams, because time in that sense doesn't really make sense, but it's still a time there. So if you understand what time is in that way, you can have certain experiences, you can shift into different forms, because time also create a kind of like a household for you. So you're not going to go out of the household and into have other experiences. So that's why you have your unique experience on Earth in your reality, and it remains in your typical human form, even if you can then, well, go beyond that and so on. But when you go to sleep, you have allowed yourself to, well, be more in the spiritual you and have a different time. But when you wake up, you're in the household, in the borders of that time. Does it make sense, first of all?
Yes.
So, for example, your pets, if you have a cat, you know that your cat does not really think of time in the way that you do. Time is more flexible for a cat, or for all animals. But for a cat, it is more, because they can see more beyond that typical household border. And they have not allowed themselves to create a filter, which you have incarnated, you create the filtration of not going beyond the border. But you can, and now when you are having awakening, you are going more up through that. So you see that when you higher up frequency, you perceive time differently. And you can learn how to manipulate your own timeline in yourself. And that's more of a consciousness using time for his or her advantage. That's her and him, I mean, for you to understand that, well, it can be used both ways.
Yeah, I see. That's really interesting. Thank you. I suppose one of the reasons I ask is because I had an experience like about a year ago now. And in that experience, which was kind of like, I just shifted very briefly. I was kind of sitting outside somewhere watching beings or people walking by. And as I was breathing out, like time was flowing forward, and as I was breathing in, it suddenly went into reverse. And I was sort of, that happened a little bit, a few times when I was breathing in and out, that I would see the scene in front of me kind of move forward, then move back, then move forward, then move back. And I wondered what that sort of meant.
You will become more aware of your, inner clock chakra. It's a chakra that you have, and hence we also have said that you have your inner clock. And this is where we're responsible for creating the time, choice that you have decided to have here. But if you create different kinds of stimuli in them, it appears to be different in how you're perceiving different experiences. So the more you can go into that clock chakra in yourself, then you can be more aware and manipulate your time in a different way. But this was one way for you to recognize that you made some kind of a stimuli, activation more in the chakra.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much. That's really interesting. Thank
You're
you.
so welcome. All right.
Thanks, James.
All right. One moment. All right. Well, we thank you all for this co-creation in this time that we created. Even though some of you say, well, it was not that long, but in reality, it was very long. So, well, think about that time now, and this will be also one exercise that will give it to you now all in this whole transmission. How short or how long it was is up to you to, well, create that reference. So we thank you all for this interaction with you all, and enjoy yourself wherever you are in yourself. Our unconditional love to you all. How to goodbye.
How to goodbye.
Hey, how did it go?
Hi, Linus. It was great, thanks. Yes, it was good. Very interesting. Lots of great questions from everybody.
Yeah,
And
interesting.
very interesting.
My phone has like
Vibration.
a lock. I cannot move my phone for some reason. And it's frozen. It's frozen. Interesting.
Well, that was great. It's coming into a different reality on Clubhouse. For some more stretching exercises. Sounds like Linus has jumped out there. Right. Yep, he's jumping around. Great.
Yeah, well,
you're there. You're moving places.
I don't know what
on my
happened to the
screen.
phone, did something.
You're jumping around. Mind you, Rohaan did say the other day we're going to start having more funny things happening with our communication and computers and devices and technology. So very interesting.
Yeah.
That's great. Thanks everybody for coming to Rohaan Channeling House to experience this all together with Rohaan. Always a good time.
Thanks, everyone.
And we'll see you again for another installment. Thanks, Linus. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye.